criminal charges for Gwinnett County car salesman accused of rolling back odometers.
I want to bring charges and get them prosecuted because I don't want them doing it to other people.
Mega contracts and multi-million-dollar payouts pushing for college football coaches off the sidelines.
Again, it's spend, spend, and spend, and it's not managing those dollars like the rest of the university has to do.
And securing student safety on school buses now comes at a high price. When systems fail, people pay the price. We trace the damage, expose the truth, and fight to fix it. This is Uncovered by Atlanta News First Investigates. An arrest warrant out for a car broker accused of selling cars with allegedly altered odometers. Atlanta News First consumer investigator Better Call Harry reveals how one family's complaint sparked a police investigation.
You loved the car.
I did.
And you were like, I'm buying this car.
Yeah.
That is a new car smile. And here it is, the day Shadeja Johnson paid Dennis Lewis, the owner of DD Auto Brokers, $6,400 for a 2013 Honda Ridgeline. Her mom, Latrice, found the listing on Facebook Marketplace.
And seen a Honda with great mileage, and I was like, oh God, this is the right thing.
The ad listed the truck with 153,000 miles, but here's the problem. Facebook Marketplace does not require a vehicle identification number. If there's no VIN, buyers can't pull a vehicle history report to verify the information. On day 2, the Johnsons were at a mechanic with a check engine light.
And he was like, the gauge is reading on here. He was like, when you just bought this car? I said, literally, yesterday. And he said, oh.
It had 2 bad catalytic converters, and then they got the Carfax. The Honda's odometer showed 153,000 miles, but not according to the Carfax report. A recent emissions test documented 285,000 miles, nearly double. Mom demanded a refund, and she got it. Mr. Lewis admitted sometimes the mileage is wrong, like when he replaces an engine.
But usually when customer come out, you have to explain to them that the mileage is not right. You got to explain it to them. But what they need to do, they need to post it online and says the mileage. I understand where you're coming from.
He said he took down the ad, but we found it again with the same mileage discrepancy. And it wasn't the only one. Carfax provided us reports for several other cars for sale, and we found more odometer discrepancies, like this 2006 Lexus RX, advertised with 155,000 miles. But look at this. The Carfax shows 232,000 miles. That's a 77,000-mile difference. After the story aired, Gwinnett County Police launched their own investigation.
Have you done cases like this before?
Detective Torrin Huff dug into other complaints about DD Auto Brokers and tracked down customers who'd filed police reports.
None of them mentioned that it was disclosed to them that there was an odometer rollback when they purchased their vehicles, which is a pretty big red flag when it was checked on some of the bill of sales.
The detective gave Lewis 2 months to hand over his business records.
So you gave him plenty of time.
Ample time.
And what happened?
He never showed. He never called me. He never produced the records. I even gave him a last chance notice. It was about a week notice to produce the records, and he still didn't.
To get a warrant, it would take someone willing to press charges. Say hello to John Groneman from Opelika, Alabama.
I was car hunting for about a month. I started looking at a lot of cars on Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace. I didn't even know there'd be so many.
Remember the Lexus? John bought it.
I think with this one being in Atlanta, and it was like a 2-hour drive and 2-hour back, and I'd been searching for a month and I was getting really tired of it. I think I just wanted to get it over with. And it was a great looking car.
He paid $3,100 based on the lower mileage, but when his temporary tag expired, he got suspicious. So he asked ChatGPT about DD Auto Brokers, and guess whose story popped up?
Consumer investigator Better Call Harry shares what he uncovered.
Hard to believe.
Oh, here's the Lexus.
And then a list started scrolling up, and I paused it and looked, and mine was the first one on the list. And I think for the next 5 hours, I felt pretty nauseous.
He called the Gwinnett County Police Department and filed a report. Detective Huff said he had enough to get a warrant. Lewis faces charges of odometer fraud, false advertising, and failure to produce his business records.
He does have active warrants, which means he will have to get booked into the Gwinnett County Jail. There are fines associated with it as well, but they are all misdemeanors at this point.
By the way, just like he did for the Johnsons, Mr. Lewis offered John a refund, but John turned it down. He is keeping the car he loves, and he's moving forward with charges to make sure this doesn't happen to anyone else.
There are a lot of people right now that can't afford to be putting money into repairs. And that's the main reason I want to bring charges and get them prosecuted, because I don't want them doing it to other people.
Harry, this has been a many months long investigation. Right now, where does the criminal case stand?
Well, as of today, the time we taped this segment, we checked with a detective and he has not turned himself in. Now, these are misdemeanors, so he would probably book himself. Once he's booked, he would pay his bail and get out. But again, it's probably going to be fines. But the bigger thing here is what happens with the used car board. Will they sanction him? Will they, put him out of business? We don't know what's going to happen. All this has to go through the legal system, and let's see where it goes.
Which brings me to that next big point. Has anything changed with the business operations of DD Auto Brokers? Are they still actively open every day?
That depends. When you call the number, you can leave a voicemail for the owner. We did that yesterday, did not receive a response. When you go online and you click on their information, it took me to a different auto broker at a different address. And then when I went to the BBB said they're closed. So we don't know. It's really interesting how this works, because this isn't the only person who works this way, where they're a licensed broker through the state, but they don't have an actual car lot where you can come and see the cars. There are lots of brokers out there who are like this. They pay for an office. In this case, it was in Peachtree Corners. We'd found a building, it was in our other story, that was home to like over 100 auto brokers, and you went inside there and the place was empty. Why? Because they were using that location because they had to have a physical office. They can't keep the cars there. So you meet these brokers somewhere and you look at the car. And then the other thing that they do is, like we were talking about with Facebook Marketplace, the broker lists the cars on Facebook Marketplace, and we found many of Didi's cars listed through other people who he said worked for him, but weren't officially employees. It was kind of like, these are the guys who work for me. These are the guys who work for me. And you think that you're buying it from them, then you find out you're buying it from DD Auto Brokers, and it's just, there's a lot of red flags.
This was such in-depth reporting, lots of elements to it, but one aspect I don't want to overlook is that VIN number. After your investigation exposed the VIN vulnerability, did Facebook Marketplace do anything to require VIN numbers to be listed?
They should. I mean, listen, if you go to Auto Trader, you have to put in a VIN to list your car there, because that allows people to go and pull the history report. Facebook Meta has not responded to us. At the time of this taping, they have not responded. And it's like, hey guys, here's another, an issue that you can help. Just change your policy. If you're going to allow for car listings, require the seller to include a VIN so that people can check out the car and cross-check it and make sure that the information is correct. Because that's the one thing a Carfax or any auto history report is pretty good at catching. It doesn't always catch it, but catching an odometer discrepancy is big, especially if that car was in a metro area where emissions are required.
Thanks, Harry.
Thank you.
Mr. Lewis did not respond to our calls about the warrant, but days later, he turned himself in.
College football programs paying out millions to coaches, asking them not to do their jobs. Atlanta News First investigates the buyout boom crisscrossing college campuses. college football programs have been on the hook for more than $1 billion in buyouts since 2004. It's money paid for coaches not to coach. This past season shattered records, more than $200 million written into fired coaches' contracts. National investigative reporter Chris Nakamoto investigates this buyout boom.
It's game day at the Grove in Oxford, Mississippi.
I think it was a terrible decision. Thought he was a better guy.
Lane Kiffin! He sucks! Lane Kiffin's dramatic departure at the end of 2025 shook college football fans across America as teams chase gridiron glory. That's because he replaced one of the 15 head coaches fired in 2025 with contracted buyouts worth a total of $228 million. The top listed buyout amount of the year at LSU, Kiffin's new turf.
This is my responsibility.
That fired coach, Brian Kelly, who was abruptly fired following an abysmal performance of the Tigers against Texas A&M, losing 49-25 in October. But his buyout to leave, $54 million, the second largest in college football history. And that wasn't the only buyout LSU was on the hook for. It also had to send money over to Oxford. Built into Kiffin's new contract, LSU paid hundreds of thousands to Ole Miss for his buyout and playoff wins. Plus, his new contract with LSU is now the second highest in college football, worth $91 million.
The coaches have all the leverage right now, whether they're leaving or coming in.
David Ridpath is a professor of sports business at Ohio University, a university that just terminated its football coach for cause in December. Brian Smith is now demanding a $2.5 million buyout after the university sent him packing.
The school is saying they're not going to pay the buyout. I think eventually they're going to have to. Here, it gets a little bit more acute because tuition and fees do go up when athletic expenses go up, and it does really affect the student. And our students are charged just in athletics alone well over $1,000 a year in student fees just to athletics, and you extrapolate that out with student loan debt. Once they hear this, they're like, well, hold on a second, now it is affecting me.
Our national investigative team looked at coaching data around the country and found the staggering $228 million in contracted buyouts in 2025 broke records for the largest buyouts in college athletics. Our team crunched the numbers and found 2025 buyouts could fund the entire 1,700 student freshman class at Harvard, one of America's most prestigious Ivy League colleges.
Again, it's spend, spend, and spend, and it's not managing those dollars like the rest of the university has to do. So it's about time we figure out a way, and working through Congress is a way to force college athletics programs to manage their revenue better.
In 2025, the SEC was on the hook for at least $138 million for 5 coaches not to work. Brian Kelly's buyout, $54 million. Kentucky's Mark Stoops, $38 million. Florida's Billy Napier, $21 million. Followed by Auburn's Hugh Freeze at nearly $16 million. And Arkansas's Sam Pittman, $9.3 million.
Winning in football is probably too over-important, but it is very important in the SEC. And so no surprise, if you don't win in the SEC, you're not going to last very long. Not that that's right, but that is the culture that is set.
The buyouts are made possible through mega contracts, ultimately leaving the university on the hook. That money is sometimes paid for by private donors or athletic foundations, like in Brian Kelly's case.
Private money becomes state money. Just because it's privately donated doesn't mean that that is a free-for-all that can be just given to coaches and that's your get-out-of-jail-free card. All money is state money.
Ridpath believes Congress is the only hope to rein in bloated spending.
I hate to say we have to rely on the government for anything, but it's where we are, Chris. And I think we're going to have national standards to bring some sanity back to college athletics.
There's no way a coach should be able to leave a team in the middle of the year to go, especially to an in-conference rival. It's ridiculous.
Back at the Grove, many rebels echo Ridpath's demand for reform. Lane Kiffin's abrupt exit has fans buzzing as a painful sting of betrayal lingers.
I don't care for him. I hope he's unsuccessful.
He made us better by leaving because now we are one instead of him.
In October, U.S. Representative Michael Baumgartner of Washington introduced a bill that would limit annual compensation and cap buyouts of any athletics department employee. New technology making the ride home safer for students, but financial barriers are keeping school districts from securing school bus safety. Drivers blow past school buses every day, putting kids in danger. Technology exists to catch them and save lives. So why isn't it being used? Investigative reporter Samantha Boring uncovers the answer.
5 seconds, 5 minutes that you wait is not going to kill you, but it might a child.
You've probably seen it. A car speeding past a stopped school bus, like here in Gardner, Kansas, or here in Fairview, Missouri. The stop arm is out, and an Amazon driver fails to obey the signs and flashing lights.
The important thing is that people just need to pay attention.
It's happened time and time again in Platte County. Here, a car drives past, but this time a Platte City police officer was there right behind the bus and pulls them over. Just one of many growing violations.
Front-facing and rear-facing.
All caught by these cameras. Platte County School District Director of Transportation J.T. Thomas says they just upgraded.
It is such a game changer.
Thomas says the first cameras used during the 2023-2024 school year led to just 7 violation letters sent to the Missouri Highway Patrol. Though this upgrade makes a difference. Since this August, that number is over 90 violations, meaning the technology is getting better, not the drivers. In Missouri, that technology plays a key role, giving law enforcement a better look at the license plate, which helps officers issue violations.
There's a button they can hit that says an incident.
It comes at a cost, anywhere from $600 up to $2,500 for one system.
It's proven well worth it. Well worth it.
If the camera quality is low, so are the chances of catching those responsible. Look at this. On the left is one of Platte County's cameras. On the right is a different camera on a Kansas City Public Schools bus. KCPS contracts with the company Zoom.
We try to pull video when we can, but some of these vehicles are going so fast, we're not even able to catch them on video.
That video is a key factor for Missouri, but in Kansas, it takes more than a camera to catch violations.
I rode along one afternoon route in Gardner for about an hour, and our cameras caught at least 7 people driving past the stop bus.
You can see these 2 cars here on a 2-way road driving past. Or here on Main Street, cars passing on both sides while the stop arm is out. But in Kansas, the law does not address the use of these cameras for traffic enforcement.
Part of it is the law needs to get leveled out first. And I am not convinced that it's there yet.
Without legal authority for the cameras, Gardner-Edgerton Superintendent Dr. Brian Huff says they work with the police department to increase patrols in hot spots.
We have that good working relationship, but we still have a lot of violations.
Gardner police reports only 2 violation letters like this have been sent to drivers this year. Back in Kansas City, the city prosecutor has filed only 8 cases in 2025. Districts say you either need police nearby or have the bus driver who's already juggling kids and traffic to try and get the license plate number.
Couldn't that be difficult for them to get that license plate?
It's incredibly difficult, and you're right. We expect them to do a whole lot.
An incredibly difficult job, but every district agrees safety can't take a back seat.
If you hit one of those kids, you'll kill them. And nobody wants to do that.
How many innocent people do you have to search before you find what you're looking for?
These are lives that are at stake.
How much of this funding has gone towards your nonprofit?
You also have eyes and ears, and you know what's in that internal affairs investigation.
You guys can't explicitly say, we are investigating this doctor.
You latched on and you never let go.
It sounds to me like you're doing work as a general contractor. Yes, sir. Are you a licensed general contractor? No, sir.
We expect you to do better.
Would you share the receipts and financials with Atlanta News First?
If I never would have saw your story,
I never would have known what was going on.
We would still be stuck. We would not be here if it were not for you.
Exposing corruption.
Finding solutions.
Protecting your money.
Helping you stay safe.
Uncovering the truth.
Join us for Uncovered by Atlanta News First Investigates.
You can listen to all of our extended conversations on these stories right now on our podcast, Behind the Investigation. Just search Atlanta News First on your favorite podcast platform. You're watching Uncovered by Atlanta News First Investigates, a weekly hour-long investigative show with new episodes launching every Sunday at 7.